Now, Cully here is the type of dog that it gets really nervous about people moving too quickly into her space bubble. So, one of the things that we're going to do to combat that is where we've worked really hard on the place cue so that we can help utilize that to condition her to the idea that people moving near her is actually a good thing. Now, for a lot of dogs, that face-to-face confrontation of stopping in front of her can be a little bit intimidating, and that's what we're seeing in Cully here. It's a very intimidating moment, makes her uncomfortable, she wants to jump off. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm getting her used to someone simply walking past her at a decent speed. Once I see that she's okay with that, then I'm gonna start walking next to her. One of the things that you'll notice is that I'm not actually facing her. I'm facing a different direction, but I'm still marching in place. So I'm still simulating the idea of someone walking really, really quickly next to her, but I'm removing that intimidation aspect. Now, I chose to move to a different side of the cot because if she's gonna run away from me in that direction, there's just a corner of the yard, so she can't really escape, which makes it a lot easier for her to sort of accept the exercise that we're performing at the moment. Again, you'll notice that the activity I'm performing is simply marching in place. I want her to get used to that, but you'll also notice that, just like before, I'm not facing her. I want her to get used to someone moving very quickly next to her with as little intimidation as possible. Now, another thing you'll notice is, yes, she's jumping off of the place cot. However, there's an equal amount of times where, if you watch her body language, she's thinking about jumping off, but she doesn't. And that's really the idea that I'm clinging to, which is she is choosing to stay there because she's starting to understand how this exercise works. Now, just like with anything in dog training, if the dog is having a difficult time with something, we want to break it down into its barest elements. So for this, the barest elements is me simply being able to lift a leg. I'm going to lift the leg furthest away from her because, again, I want to remove the intimidation factor. You'll also notice that I'm kind of acting like a Pez dispenser. I'm just giving her treats. As long as she's doing the right thing, they're broken up into little pieces, but I'm still giving her treats constantly for doing what I'm asking, which is simply staying there. Now I'm going to work on lifting the leg closest to her. Again, still giving her those rewards so that she can start to feel comfortable with the leg closest to her moving quickly. Then I'm going to start combining that. Now we've broken walking down into its two components, and we're able to do that marching in place. You can see now she's still a little bit skittish, but she's getting more comfortable with the exercise, with me walking next to her. So now we're starting to see that she's getting more and more comfortable with this portion of the exercise. So what I'm about to do is switch it up a little bit. Now I'm going to start facing her and see how she responds to that. Now what we'll see is that when I face her, she actually starts to get excited. But one of the things that I always tell people is that excitement is not the same as happiness, because as you can see, she was excited and then she jumped off, letting me know that that excitement is actually nervousness. So that's okay. We just brought her right back as if nothing happened. We continue the exercise. We see that she jumps off one more time, and that, again, that's okay because she's still learning. This is a new experience for her. So I'm going to use this opportunity to challenge her a little bit further. I'm going to go a little bit further back. But since I am changing the situation slightly, I'm going to spend a little bit of time just marching in front of her, maintaining the exercise that we've been doing so that she can get used to that, and then I'm going to slowly start extending that distance further and further. Now, when it comes to behavioral issues, there's no such thing as a quick fix. So this is something that I'm going to practice with her as much as possible. Not just this, but exercises similar where I'm asking her to stay in one position while I move around, while I move towards her. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. This is a long-term project that we're going to be working on with Cully.